Live from Brisbane, 7 News with Kendall Gilding.
Good afternoon. Our top stories this Monday. First the heat, then the storms. Severe cells active right now and warnings in place. We'll track the dangerous storms across this news hour. A Boeing 737 joins the fight to save Fraser Island as residents are forced to evacuate. New tactics from Extinction Rebellion bring the heart of Brisbane to a stop, and this is just their warm-up. And the bid's back on. Meetings in Brisbane to plot the course for the 2032 Olympics, but are they worried about China? As we come on air this afternoon, the southeast is under severe storm threat. This video just into the newsroom shows a trampoline at Bribie Island flying from a yard. The Weather Bureau warns of damaging winds, large hailstones and heavy rainfall. This cell impacted the Caboolture, Narangba and Redcliffe areas earlier this afternoon. 2 to 3 centimetre hail has been reported near Woodford. Now let's go to Laura Dimmick. Where else will be impacted this afternoon?
Much of the southeast is in the firing line still, Kendall. The system which hit the Caboolture area has moved offshore, but there are storms on the radar heading towards the Sunshine Coast and southern Wide Bay. And more storms are building around Warwick at the moment. They could reach Brisbane and the Gold Coast a little later. So far this afternoon, we've seen some small hail. As you heard, Bribie Island had 52 millimetres of rain. That's certainly a decent amount in a short period of time. Now, these storms follow what was a very hot and humid night. It was, in fact, a record breaker. Archerfield had its warmest December night of 25.3 degrees. The previous record was 24.9 set in 2012. It was partly due to a build-up of cloud. It acts like insulation, trapping in the heat. Brisbane was the warmest spot in the southeast overnight on 25.8 before a top of 34. Kendall, I'll have more weather a little later.
Thank you, Laura. Well, if you didn't have air conditioning, sleep was hard to come by last night. It was a stinker, the hottest December night on Brisbane's south side on record. But there is a cool change in sight. Georgie Chumley has more.
Well, it might be hot and muggy across Brisbane, but here at Murarrie, it's going to be one of the coolest places in town, minus 18 degrees all year round.
They go outside and they're boiling hot, and then they come in here and they're freezing cold.
And if you thought it was warm overnight, you were right. Brisbane recording its warmest evening since January.
My dad went into my room for a little sleep in the air conditioning.
Queensland's seen a very hot week over the last week, or even longer for a lot of places, with some places actually being above 40 degrees for more than 20 days.
It's warm across the state today, but the hottest place, Julia Creek, where it's expected to get to 43 degrees. Still, that didn't stop builders getting out and about and doing their work in the heat. A cool change is expected halfway through the week, but it could get even warmer tomorrow.
Later in the week and into the weekend, we'll see a return of tropical moisture as we see a tropical wave move through into the Australian region.
What can we expect for the next few days, and when will that cool change hit? We'll tell you more tonight on 7 News at 6.
Residents on Fraser Island are being told to evacuate as emergency services continue to battle an intense blaze in difficult conditions. A 737 jet has now joined the battle on the world's largest sand island. Elliot Chipper reports.
Happy Valley residents and firefighters have been working relentlessly to protect their town from this massive blaze. Emergency services warned residents to evacuate immediately late yesterday afternoon as the fire, fanned by strong winds and high temperatures, threatened their slice of paradise. But many stayed to fight.
A large majority of those people are volunteer firefighters, so they're helping with the firefighting around the township.
What started from an illegal campfire 7 weeks ago has now burnt half the island.
They have a huge QFIS presence down there, lots of fire trucks, lots of firefighters. So I'm sure they're doing everything they possibly can.
Backburning a kilometre north of Happy Valley overnight and this morning, helping to keep properties protected.
This is a very serious situation on Fraser Island. You only have to look at the horrendous temperatures that we're experiencing over there.
The smoke, the ash, the embers are going to be blowing directly onto them. It's going to be tough.
Help also coming from the air. 17 aircraft have continued to drop hundreds of thousands of litres of water on the hilly terrain and dense bush. New South Wales helping the battle on the World Heritage listed island, sending a 737 water bomber capable of dumping 15,000 litres in seconds.
Strengthen the resources immensely, a great asset to have. and certainly will be valuable.
To break the back of this blaze, firefighters either need a change in wind direction or some rain, neither of which is on the horizon, just a potential thunderstorm which could make conditions even more dangerous.
Police are hunting a serial arsonist who's left a trail of destruction across Toowoomba. 3 fires were lit in quick succession, the most serious at a Catholic education centre. All are being treated as suspicious.
Puts a lot of strain on our crews when we have multiple fires across the city at one time. Luckily we have very professional and capable crews within Toowoomba.
A car dealership was also torched. Notorious environmental activist group Extinction Rebellion are accelerating their protest action in Brisbane. Delays were long in the CBD this morning as 2 protesters took to the roof of a truck, shutting down peak hour streets. Joel Dry has more.
Well, throughout a good part of the day, the Brisbane City Watch House has been housing 2 Extinction Rebellion protesters after their action early this morning caused major disruption to city traffic. The activists blocked all 3 lanes of busy Edward Street just after 7 a.m. using a truck, and then proceeded to climb onto the vehicle and use it as a platform to preach their climate inactivity message. Sergio and Wenzio deployed a number of tactics to get attention, including using smoke bombs and by also putting one each of their arms into a pipe and locking it onto the top of the truck. This is known as a sleeping dragon device. The disruption, well, it had the desired effect, and commuters were pretty furious with the morning delay.
What are they achieving? They're blocking up the traffic, making it worse to get around here, essentially making the pollution worse in the city.
The pair did, however, have some sympathetic onlookers.
What can you do? You've got to expect these things from time to time.
Specialist fire crews eventually used a cherry picker to firstly remove banners and then remove the protesters themselves. As is often the case with Extinction Rebellion, today's action was a precursor to a larger event. Thursday is promised to be a major day of civil disobedience in the CBD, with protesters again pushing their message of climate action.
More than 1 million casual workers will be given new rights by their employers under new laws introduced by the Morrison government. Political reporter Jennifer Beshwati has the details.
Well, under these new laws, employers must offer full-time or part-time employment to casuals who've been in the same job with regular hours for 12 months. It's one of a raft of changes to be introduced into the Parliament this week and has been developed after consultation with businesses and unions. A single definition of a casual worker has also been proposed to give bosses certainty about pay loading and leave entitlements. But unions are worried that the set definition will lead to fewer rights for workers.
People who have actually already lost hours, pay, rights, anything that sees them go backwards in this legislation, we will resist.
There are things in this bill that the unions won't particularly love. There are things in this bill that business groups are not going to particularly love as well. What we will go into now is a second stage of consultation.
Meanwhile, there's further backlash within the defence community over the handling of the Afghanistan inquiry. As 7 News revealed last night, about 60 SAS members have threatened to quit over the collective punishment inflicted, despite only a handful of wrongdoers identified in the war crimes report. Many are now calling for the decision to disband the regiment's 2nd Squadron to be overturned. But Defence Minister Linda Reynolds says she backs the decisions made.
I fully support the CDF and how he is approaching this. There is no quick fix to this, there are no easy solutions, and there is no simple thing.
Some veterans are now calling for the Chief of the Defence Force to stand aside.
The Premier is facing allegations she used her private email account to conduct government work to avoid scrutiny. The issue emerged on the opening day of budget estimates. State political editor Patrick Lyon has more.
The opposition today produced an alleged email purportedly sent from the Transport Minister's infamous Mango Cube email account to the Premier's private address. The LNP began the day probing the Premier's private email arrangements.
Has the Premier ever had a private Big Pond account?
I don't recall having a Big Pond account.
Premier. Yet only seconds later...
Have you ever had an email address, stacia1@bigpond.com?
Yes, I have.
The LNP producing an alleged email from Transport Minister Mark Bailey in 2015 showing Mr Bailey emailed that address discussing a public service appointment.
Can you advise if this document is authentic?
The Premier was given the document.
I don't know. It's dark. It's 2015. As I said, when the report came down, we updated the ministerial handbook, and I've been very upfront saying that I've had a private email in the past.
Elsewhere, Parliament revealed how much taxpayers had recently lost over a bungled Microsoft telephone system that was cutting MPs off during phone calls.
About $500,000 to $600,000 we would have absorbed for the cost of it.
And we will have full coverage of the first day of estimates in the news at 6.
The Premier is pushing ahead with Queensland's 2032 Olympic bid. Australia will have to beat up to 5 rival bids to secure the Games, including China. Isabel Mullen reports.
Well, Queensland's 2032 Olympics bid is back on track with the first high-level talks since March held in Brisbane this morning. Australian Olympic Committee boss John Coates met with the Prime Minister in Tokyo 3 weeks ago. He says the Olympics will go ahead in 2021.
The Games are definitely going ahead. Postponed Games on the 23rd of July.
New COVID vaccine confidence means all eyes are now on Japan.
It's very important from a Queensland point of view that we get to see what happens with the Tokyo Olympics in this post-COVID world.
Mr Coates will address Cabinet in February and says he has the Prime Minister's support.
Fully supportive and fully committed to a Brisbane, South East Queensland, Australian bid for 2032.
The AOC boss isn't worried about a potential last-minute bid from China, confirming he hasn't seen an official expression of interest from Chinese officials.
Just concentrate and focus on our own merits.
Queensland loves their sport, Australia loves their sport, so let's go to the next stage.
The International Olympic Committee will meet each night this week to discuss the best way to progress the Queensland bid. An official decision on who will host the Games isn't expected until 2022.
A shortage of fruit pickers is about to bite. Next, the fruit and vegetable prices, which will have to go up, and by how much before Christmas. Vaccine ready. Deliveries begin for the start of the UK's COVID-busting injection program, and a triple treat for thrill seekers. SeaWorld shows off its 3 new rides. On 7 News, Southeast storm watch after a sweltering day and a sticky night. Help arrives in the fight to beat the Fraser Island fire. A spike in construction site theft, the exclusive video. Mass shark numbers filmed just off our coast. And chosen by kids, the best toys this Christmas. 7 News at 6.
The Big Bash Fast Start. 7 nights in a row at 7 on 7 Mate.
That is unbelievable.
It's the biggest start ever. Hobart in Sydney sees the big hitters facing the reigning champs. The Big Bash starts Thursday on 7 Mate.
There is still magic wherever you are. Yes, there is magic. Stay young in your heart. It's still around us. It never was lost.
Cherish those golden to us with Ferrero Rocher. Fragrant hazelnuts, smooth velvety chocolate, wrapped in precious gold. Ferrero Rocher, say it with gold.
Spread a little joy this Christmas with Ryobi. One battery powers over 100 tools, so you'll find gifts for any size project and any size budget. 1 + U equals a little joy this Christmas. Dual driver kit, $99, available at Bunnings Warehouse.
Mika is a perfectionist when it comes to sculpting hedges. Just don't ask her for a short back and sides.
That's terrible.
It's amazing what you can't do. Task smarter.
Airtasker.
Sometimes, even the best tenants can cause damage to your investment property that standard building insurance may not cover. Terry Shear, Australia's leading landlord insurance specialist, provides the cover you need for your property and rental income. Have confidence that your investment property is in safe hands.
My property portfolio is protected by Terry Shear. I wouldn't trust anyone else.
Call Terry Shear or go online.
Discover better buys for kids at Target with 20% off Lego toys. Like Jungle Rescue Base $99 save $30 And police helicopter $45, save 14. Offer ends December 9. Conditions apply.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway. Looking for adventure. And whatever comes our way. Born to be wild.
Has summer ever been so important? Let's keep it safe. Volvo.
2020. It made us stay true to what we're really for. We're for not letting anything stop them getting the early learning they deserve. We're Good Start. We're not for profit, so we can do more for children.
Someone's with Alinta Energy?
Yeah, of course. Aren't you?
Yeah, especially with their great energy deals.
Either of you guys seen my wicket-keeping...
Join Queensland's most satisfied customers.
The best thing about spending more time at home was all the money I was saving. Where else could I save? I noticed all the interest I was paying across my credit cards. Then I discovered Society One, who helped me consolidate my debts into one low-rate personal loan. Because I have a good credit history, I got a great rate, with no monthly fees and no early repayment fees. So, take control of your interest. Make it happen with Society One.
The jury in the Jared Hayne rape trial has been discharged after they were unable to reach a unanimous or a majority verdict. The former NRL player walked out of court this afternoon holding hands with his girlfriend, facing the prospect of a retrial.
I told the truth and I do it all again. So,
how are you feeling after the outcome?
Disappointed, but...
Jared, has this process been mentally exhausting for you?
Hayne is accused of sexually assaulting a woman at her home in Newcastle in 2018, which he denies. The cost of fruit and vegetables could be about to skyrocket. As Amelia Brace explains, travel restrictions are being blamed for the price hike.
Well, it's certainly the season for summer fruit, but this year it could come at an increased cost. A federal agency warning fresh food prices are set to soar because of a lack of backpackers. Fruit and vegetable prices potentially rising by 15 to 25% as travel restrictions limit labour available for harvesting. Summer veggies, stone fruit and grapes expected to cost the most.
The availability of workers is certainly top of mind for a lot of farmers. We think we're about 90,000 workers short.
It's not an issue that's unique to New South Wales. Every single state is screaming out for additional workers.
There are fears workers will be competitively allocated to industries which can afford to pay the most. Those harvesting earlier in the season also advantaged. Farmers are resorting to drastic measures to lure in the few workers that are in Australia. Cherry producer Guy Gaeta has been forced to use contractors instead.
We usually use backpackers, and we haven't had not one person as a backpacker come to look for work. And we predicted it 6 months ago that this was going to happen.
New South Wales is coming off the back of its best winter crop ever, but while production nationally has increased by 7%, exports are tipped to fall by the same amount thanks to the ongoing trade dispute with China.
The first batches of the coronavirus vaccine have been delivered to hospitals across the UK. Britain will become the first country to roll out Pfizer's jab from tomorrow.
It's here, perhaps the most anticipated delivery any hospital has had all year. The first batch of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine arriving at Croydon University Hospital in the UK.
Yeah, EGA 553.
This is one of the hospital hubs where they'll start vaccinating from tomorrow. The cases carrying the vaccines were carefully unpacked into freezers. They have to be kept at temperatures below minus 70 degrees.
NHS staff around the country at vaccination hubs such as this one we're here at today have been working tirelessly to make sure that we are prepared to commence vaccination on Tuesday.
With 40 million doses on order, the first in line will be people over 80 and frontline health workers.
This feels like the beginning of the end, but of course it's a marathon, not a sprint, and it will take many months for us to vaccinate everybody who needs vaccination.
But as vaccinations begin, people are being warned that following COVID restrictions and advice has never been more important. In Nottingham, these scenes at the weekend forced organisers of a Christmas market to permanently shut it down after just one day.
It was complete chaos as far as I was concerned. I went to have a look and there were thousands of people all partying, having a really good time.
The city in England's Midlands is under strict COVID restrictions, many residents questioning why the event was allowed to go ahead. More than 17,000 new cases were identified across the UK on Sunday. Doran Katz, 7 News.
SeaWorld has given thrill seekers a taste of what to expect of its 3 new attractions. Village Roadshow has released video of its wooden roller coaster, Vortex ride and the spinning trident. They'll be used to help promote the Gold Coast and lure tourists to the theme parks. The Vortex will open this month. A car ploughs into a home on the Gold Coast. Now the hunt for the driver who fled the scene. Also, President Trump's lawyer Rudy Giuliani receiving treatment for coronavirus, and incredible pictures as a fireworks factory goes up in flames.
From the brazen, the sophisticated, to the dumb, and even dumber. For months, they've been secretly recorded. Now, the exclusive video. Thieves treating building sites like self-service, stealing by the trailer load. A warning to Queensland tradies and home renovators. On 7 News tonight.
The ultimate 4-wheel Chrissy present will be given away. A new Ford Everest. Your chance to win on Sunrise tomorrow.
Every side is the best side of the Hyundai Kona with a $500 bonus during Hyundai's 2020 model run-out event. Test drive the Kona at your local Hyundai showroom today.
Domino's $5 pizzas are incredible value. 7 awesome recipes, all made with fresh dough, vine-ripened tomato sauce, and stretchier, tastier mozzarella. $5 pizzas, no voucher required at Domino's.
Do you want to know a secret? Do you promise not to tell?
Give chocolate secretly to someone you love.
If your credit card debt is keeping you up at night, move your balance to a NAB low-rate card and save on interest with 0% per annum on balance transfers for 20 months, so you can get your finances and your sleep back on track. NAB, more than money.
Do loose batteries clutter up your house? Is finding the right size impossible? And why do they always waste precious space? What you need is the Battery Daddy storage system, the new compact and portable way to organise, store and protect all your batteries. Turn any disaster into an organised master. Battery Daddy uses both sides to store all types of different batteries. The unique design groups them in groups for easy selection. You could even find one with a blindfold on. Best of all, it packs 180 batteries, yet takes up about the space of a laptop. Perfect in any cabinet, drawer or shelf. Forget flimsy bags or messy containers. Battery Daddy stays organised forever, guaranteed. And the carrying handle lets you bring it anywhere. Use it during power outages and never go searching in the dark. Select the right battery for kids' toys in an instant. Or tackle household chores with the precision of a pro. Watch out, loose batteries can touch and drain power. Not with Battery Daddy. They stay fully charged and protected in their own compartment. Keep one in the house and one in the office, boat or camper van to organise, store and protect all your batteries. Plus, the clear locking lid lets you see everything at a glance. Amazing! Call Global Shop Direct or go online now and get the Battery Daddy storage system for the low price on your screen. But wait, as an added bonus with your order, you'll also receive a battery tester, so you'll instantly know which batteries are bad and which are good. Plus, if you need a second Battery Daddy for a family member or for the office, we'll give it to you for half price. That's right, 50% off your second Battery Daddy when you order today. And Battery Daddy comes with Global Shop Direct's 30-day money-back guarantee. Don't miss this incredible offer. Order your Battery Daddy with bonus battery tester today.
7 News with Sharon Gadella and Max Futcher every night at 6 o'clock.
A teenager has been taken down in a citizen's arrest after crashing his car into an Eleanor home this morning. It's understood the 17-year-old lost control of his white Commodore on the wet road, then ploughed through the front gates of Christopher Bellany's house just before 9 o'clock. His son Spencer was asleep inside and woke up to find the car in his garage.
I was still running and the kid from it ran.
They just crashed through the gates and smashed it up and ended up in the garage.
The teenage driver was caught by a neighbour and tradie working nearby. President Trump's personal lawyer Rudy Giuliani has coronavirus. The 76-year-old has been leading the president's attempts to overturn the election in the courts, but is now being treated at a hospital in Washington. David Woywood has more.
Yes, he's the president's right-hand man and personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, now the latest member of Team Trump to test positive to COVID-19. The president made the announcement on Twitter, posting, "Rudy Giuliani, by far the greatest mayor in the history of New York City and who has been working tirelessly exposing the most corrupt election by far in the history of the United States, has tested positive for the China virus. Get better soon, Rudy. We will carry on." The 76-year-old has been crisscrossing the country in recent weeks, pushing the president's claims of voter fraud and rigging in key battleground states, appearing maskless in a live Fox News interview today, hours before his positive diagnosis was made public. This in Georgia on Thursday, Mr Giuliani face-to-face with lawmakers in Atlanta, high fives for supporters, and at a hearing in Michigan just 4 days ago, asking a witness to remove her mask.
Would you be comfortable taking your mask off?
The high-profile case as American hospitals buckle under the strain of soaring infection rates, a vaccine still weeks away, experts still saying masks are America's best defence.
I hear community members parroting back those situations, parroting back that masks don't work. And I think our job is to constantly say those are myths.
Almost 2,200 deaths across the country yesterday as America inches ever closer to 300,000 dead.
Parts of northern Italy have been inundated after a weekend of heavy rain, strong winds and snow. Some areas have been cut off after a river burst its banks. Authorities used inflatable boats to carry out more than 2,000 rescues. This bridge collapsed during the wild weather. And the sky over southern Russia has erupted in colour when a fireworks factory caught fire. The fireworks were being stored for New Year's Eve celebrations. Incredibly, no one was injured. It's unclear what caused the explosion. And if you're on the Gold Coast, thanks so much for your company. You're off to the chase now. Join Amanda Abate for your local 7 Gold Coast News at 5:30. For the rest of Queensland, miracle survival. We speak with a man rescued from a plank of wood as sharks circled in the middle of the ocean. The royal train trip, William and Kate embark on a tour of the United Kingdom. And the new Woolworths store, why customers are banned from the aisles. On 7 News, Southeast storm watch after a sweltering day and a sticky night. Help arrives in the fight to beat the Fraser Island fire. A spike in construction site theft, the exclusive video. Mass shark numbers filmed just off our coast and chosen by kids the best toys this Christmas. 7 News at 6.
He's the biggest star in India today. His name is Virat Kohli. Australia's up against the most formidable rival they've ever faced.
We won't let that faze us. We're playing for all Australians. We will never, ever back down.
Our Aussies take on the might of India.
The first test starts December 17 on 7.
Have a Brisbane day out. Tour an art gallery as big as a city. Spend a day under the stars. See a power station fueled by culture. Or head to a subtropical island without leaving Brisbane. Search Brisbetter Days Out.
Right now, there's even more reason to choose beautiful Australian-made carpet from Andersons. With a $1 donation for every square metre sold going to the Smith family. It's the perfect time to celebrate Australian manufacturers and help Australian families in need. Aussie made has never felt so good. Discover the range at Andersons today.
With crispy salmon Wellington and garlic butter lobster tails. You can go full Christmas for less at Aldi.
G'day, Sue. Join me for a walk?
I'd love to, but my legs are aching.
I have the same problem. You need Revitive. New Revitive Medic with Oxywave is amazing. It's the circulation booster that gets my leg muscles pumping, which could relieve aches and pains, swelling, and now cramps. Plus, it's drug-free. It's truth. Someone got Revitive. Get Revitive today. It just might change your life. This Christmas, give someone you love Revitive.
OMG, what a night. I probably look like... Shut up, my skin looks amazing.
New Olay Retinol 24 Night Serum. Look how plump and bouncy. Girl, it really works.
Live from Brisbane, 7 News with Kendall Gilding.
Thanks for joining us. Our top stories this Monday. Severe storms are hitting parts of the southeast after days of prolonged heat. We'll check the latest on the dangerous cells soon. They follow a heat streak that's seen records tumble. A 737 has joined the firefighting effort as a large blaze continues to burn on Fraser Island. Residents are being told to evacuate. And NRL star Jarryd Hayne is facing the prospect of a retrial after a jury failed to reach a verdict in his sexual assault case. Hayne had pleaded not guilty. A man who spent 16 hours clinging to a piece of timber in shark-infested waters in the Torres Strait has spoken about his miraculous rescue. Louis Billy says he always had faith he and his mate would be saved. Matthew Castunen spoke to him from Cairns.
It's a survival story straight out of a Hollywood film, but for these two men, it was just an unexpected detour on their fishing trip. Louis Billy and his uncle were on their dinghy about 20 nautical miles off their home of Warraba Island on Wednesday afternoon when their boat sank.
Both of us were on the boat and trying to paddle.
And all night they floated, clinging to a piece of timber.
It's like sitting in a car together with him and just cruising around. Family was on our mind that night, the whole time. If we're going to lose hope now, we will never see them again.
But Louis had faith, knowing they'd eventually be saved.
From that moment, from where I started praying, I started believing that we're going to be rescued soon.
Help arrived in the form of an oil tanker. He waved them down with his Parramatta Eels hat as sharks lurked nearby.
I'm a Penrith supporter. I might support the Parramatta Eels next year.
And despite their unexpected trip, the pair plan to be back out on the water as soon as they can.
Yeah, that's crazy, but that's live. I was born into that, so...
The pair will leave Thursday Island and fly home tomorrow with a story to share.
With Britain's second lockdown lifted, it's full steam ahead for the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. William and Kate will be spending 3 days travelling around the UK by train. Sarah Greenault reports.
Well, the 9-carriage royal train is usually taken by the Queen, but the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have jumped on board, departing London for what will be a 2,000-kilometre journey over the next 3 days across the UK. They'll be making 10 stops in England, Scotland and Wales, and this tour is all about boosting morale in what has been such a tough year. Kate and William will be meeting with frontline health staff, with care home workers and with teachers to thank them on behalf of the British public for the incredible incredible work they have done throughout the pandemic. Interestingly, it is believed that this is Kate's first official journey on the royal train, even though she has been a member of the royal family for the past decade. The tour wraps up on Tuesday, which happens to be the first day of COVID vaccinations here in the UK now that the Pfizer vaccine is being rolled out. And it's been revealed that the Queen is likely to tell the British public once she and Prince Philip have the jab in a bid to try and encourage other people to get vaccinated to do the same. Back in 1957, the Queen actually broke royal protocol, revealing that a then 8-year-old Prince Charles and 6-year-old Princess Anne had the polio vaccine at a time when there was anxiety and concern in the community about the possible long-term effects of that. It is expected that other members of the royal family, including Charles, Camilla, William and Kate, will also reveal once they've been immunised. And it is worth remembering that both future kings have already had and recovered from COVID-19 this year.
To finance now, here's James Tao from CommSec on how the local share market started the week.
Good afternoon, Kendall. Certainly a positive start to the week for the local share market. The ASX 200 closing higher by 40 points or 0.6%, although at the best levels of the day we're about double that. We're up 80 points or 1.2%. Still, it is 5 straight sessions that we've seen gains for the local share market. Certainly helping was a positive sentiment coming out of US markets with record highs over on Wall Street. Today, though, it was really the local mining sector helping to drive the market higher. We had iron ore hitting the best level since March of 2013, more than 7 years ago, and that helped the likes of BHP and Rio Tinto both lifting more than 2% each. Fortescue Metals really standing out closer to a 4% gain today. One of the biggest winners, though, was Metcash. It really beat the market's expectations on its first half earnings results this morning, and the Aussie dollar fairly stable. It's hovering around 74.3 US cents.
Woolworths has unveiled a huge new supermarket with 900 employees but no customers. The dark store will focus solely on online orders, which have risen dramatically this year. Network Finance editor Gemma Acton explains.
Woolworths has just opened its 5th online-only fulfilment centre in Australia, creating 900 new jobs just before 2020 draws to a close. The new roles are a mix of full-time, part-time and casual positions and follow from a sharp spike in online orders for the supermarket giant in the past 12 months. Online orders more than doubled over the 3 months from July to September compared to just a year ago, and now make up 8% of Woolworths' total sales.
It's really important that we continue to invest in online infrastructure to make sure we stay ahead of our customers' demands through the near future.
The 15,000 square metre site is the size of 12 Olympic swimming pools and the company's largest online fulfilment centre in the country. While the triple-digit rate of growth in online shopping is expected to slow as social restrictions continue to loosen across the country, the underlying trend towards the convenience of buying groceries online is expected to keep winning over new customers.
If you think about how much time you spend each week, not just shopping for groceries, but also the travel to and from the stores, shopping online can save you all of that time.
Across the industry, supermarkets are ploughing hundreds of millions of dollars into developing their online shopping capabilities in anticipation of this ongoing demand.
Political leaders from across the divide have united to launch the Kmart Salvation Army Wishing Tree Appeal at Parliament House. Prime Minister Scott Morrison donated books, while Labor leader Anthony Albanese gifted 2 trolleys of toys. Millions of gifts have been donated to children in need across the country since the initiative began 30 years ago. We'll check the day's sport next with Ben Davis. Also, the IVF breakthrough that could help more couples become parents. And is this licence plate too cheeky? It's now the centre of a court battle.
Think you will crush me?
Oh, I know I will.
Tonight, 8:30.
Andy?
It's Captain. It's getting hot. Office now. From the producers that know how to do steaming.
I'm not the kid next door anymore.
Comes the next fiery new drama.
Mayday! 500 down!
News Station 19. Tonight, 8:30 on 7. Can't wait? The entire first season is now streaming for free on 7+.
Many homes were lost in the 2019 bushfires, including Pam's of over 50 years. If the worst does happen, Suncorp's safety net protection gives you extra cover if the cost to rebuild is more than your insured amount. And it's free this season with all new Suncorp Classic Home Insurance.
Beautiful. It's going to be so good to have you back in here.
Yeah. Making you feel at home again. That's the Suncorp spirit.
Sam is fearless at studying tiger sharks. Just don't ask him to fix a leaking tap. It's amazing what you can't do. Task smarter.
Airtasker.
Thinking about your future? Host Plus is a top-performing industry super fund that puts you first. So whatever plans you had, with Host Plus, your future is in good hands. Host Plus, we go with you.
The new Ford Escape with wireless charging pad doesn't need a dramatic location. The new everyday effortless Ford Escape. No advertising trickery required.
Oh, hi, sweetie.
Hi, Mum.
Mars. Enough chocolate to deal with anything.
Oh, it's very good.
3, 1, go!
Lucky!
I'm Dennis.
And I'm Kylie, and we're the owners of Cuvée Chocolate.
We're a small batch artisan chocolate maker. We hand sort all the beans, roast them and grind them for up to 7 days. COVID-19 affected our business quite dramatically. We mainly work with wineries, hotels and restaurants, and they've been shut.
Now you can buy our chocolate from our website, cuvechocolate.com.au.
Lucky, you're with Amy.
They'll try to sweet talk you.
You're a beautiful lady.
They'll try to outwalk you.
You have to wonder what they're thinking.
Motorway Patrol, tonight on 7. From the brazen, the sophisticated, to the dumb, and even dumber. For months, they've been secretly recorded. Now, the exclusive video. Thieves treating building sites like self-service, stealing by the trailer load. A warning to Queensland tradies and home renovators. On 7 News, tonight.
A breakthrough in IVF procedures is offering new hope for people trying to conceive. Human trials are being planned for a new technique which boosts the prospect of a pregnancy. Jodie Lee has the details.
1 in 6 Australian couples struggle with infertility. The process of assisted reproduction can be expensive, emotionally taxing and, in some cases, take years. But a new technology developed by researchers here at Monash University could speed up the fertility process. Scientists have been able to separate viable from weaker sperm using sound waves.
The way that the device works is we have all the cells, debris, dead cells, bad sperm, good sperm flowing in the channel, and then we kind of apply a transverse force where we try to push the good cells out of that mainstream.
The device they have developed can process about 140 sperm per second and select more than 60,000 in under 50 minutes. It automates an otherwise labour-intensive and complex job.
The main benefit is it's kind of like an automated process. It doesn't need a very skilled and experienced embryologist or lab scientist to work with the device. They just sit there and run the selection process until they prepare the egg for IVF process.
The device has so far only been tested on animal samples, but researchers hope to begin human trials next year. If successful, the technology could be made available to Australian families in as little as 2 years.
Such an exciting development. Well, Ben's here to check today's sport. Ben, what's happening in cricket?
Plenty, Kendall. Good day, everyone. Australia's test plans are changing daily due to injuries and now form concerns. With David Warner injured, likely openers Will Pucovski and Joe Burns made 1 and 4 on day 2 of the tour match against the Indians in Sydney. Both could now be among several Test players to stay for Friday's pink ball hit out at the SCG instead of training in Adelaide.
We're having a close look at that. I think the best practice, I've said for years, the best practice is centre wicket practice.
While Pekoski failed, another rookie pressed his claims. 21-year-old all-rounder Cameron Green with an unbeaten century after making his ODI debut last week. It was a cruel introduction to international cricket for Daniel Sams last night. In for Mitchell Starc, he bowled the final over with India needing 14 to win. It took Hardik Pandya just 4 balls.
Enormous hit.
That's gone. It's gone.
Will not get that. Hardik Pandya wins the game for India off his own bat.
It was a great shot earlier. Matthew Wade blazed 58 off 31 as the stand-in skipper for an injured Aaron Finch. India have an unbeatable 2-0 lead before Game 3 at the SCG tomorrow night. Ex-Bronco Joe Afenagawa doesn't hold a grudge against his former club after being released to the Tigers last week. Despite having a long-term contract, reports suggest the former Maroons prop wasn't part of Kevy Walters' plans at Brisbane, where he'd been since turning 17.
Obviously, it was frustrating for myself, not knowing where I was going to be next year. Well, I had an extra 2 years at the Bronx, but, you know, things happen and people need to move on, and I was one of them.
On the Gold Coast, the Suns reported for day 1 of pre-season, including senior players not due back till after Christmas. Rookie Matt Rowell is being managed. He's been full tilt for the last 2 months after shoulder surgery. Now, Kendall, school holidays start Wednesday. I'll have a story at 6 about a grade 11 student who's going to spend it a little bit differently after picking up a professional sporting contract. It's a ripper.
Great way to spend your holidays.
Oh, yeah.
See you at 6. Thanks, Ben. A Sydney barrister has headed to court after the licence plates for his Lamborghini were seized. Authorities say the plates are offensive. The owner argues they're just a bit of fun. Ashley Hansen has the story.
Good afternoon. This is the pricey Lamborghini that's causing quite a stir. It's now missing its controversial number plates after they were seized by police. The sports car owner, criminal barrister Peter Larvack, is now fighting the case in court. Transport New South Wales has deemed the plates offensive. They read LGOPNR, but if you throw in the vowel E a couple of times, they read leg opener. Mr Larvack says the term is a reference to his history with women.
A couple of mates suggested them as a tribute to me, to my reputation as a playboy.
On Thursday, police officers stopped Mr Larvack near his Manly home and confiscated the plates. Today, the former Hong Kong Crown prosecutor fought the decision in court, claiming the plates aren't offensive. But the court heard Transport New South Wales owns the plates and can recall them at any time. A magistrate is set to deliver his decision on Monday.
We'll get the latest on the afternoon storms next with Laura Dimmick. Also, a chilly Christmas tradition through the streets of Germany. And the Brisbane car turning heads covered with $2,000 in 5-cent pieces. On 7 News, Southeast storm watch after a sweltering day and a sticky night. Help arrives in the fight to beat the Fraser Island fire. A spike in construction site theft, the exclusive video. Mass shark numbers filmed just off our coast. And chosen by kids, the best toys this Christmas. 7 News at 6.
Good afternoon, Dave Andrews here. Thanks to Mount Gravatt Skoda checking out the roads on this stormy afternoon, and a rollover on the Deagon deviation southbound from Bracken Ridge Road through Bracken Ridge. All the roads home very slow this afternoon. The Gateway northbound heavy from Nudgee and the Pacific Motorway outbound to Greenslopes. The 2020 demonstrator clearance is on now at Mount Gravatt Skoda with demo Octavia wagons from $25,990 drive away. Only at Mount Gravatt Skoda, your home of Skoda in Brisbane. I'll check the roads again for you tomorrow.
The ultimate test does not stop here. If you thought that was hard, times that by 10. SAS UK is here. The mountains are the harshest of terrains you'll come across. Let's go! This is where modern day warfare is.
Do not let the team down! Do not let your brothers down!
You will go through a phase where you wonder whether you're going to survive.
The recruits are either going to fight through the pain or they're going to quit. Are you ready?
SAS UK, tonight on 7 Mate.
If you've been injured and can't work, your normal life and income can suddenly stop. Check if you have an insurance claim through your super online in minutes, so you can start again. With Slater and Gordon, tomorrow starts today.
There's a place for us, somewhere a place for us. Peace and quiet and open air. Wait for us somewhere. There's a time for us, a time and place for us. Hold my hand and we're halfway there. Hold my hand and I'll take you there. Somehow, someday.
With buttery waffle crisps, crunchy brandy snaps or baskets, and golden champagne pudding, you can go full Christmas for less at Aldi.
A lot of people have sensitive teeth, but gum health is really important. The new Sensodyne Sensitivity in Gum toothpaste not only deals with sensitivity, it also maintains gum health. 2 benefits from 1 toothpaste. What a great idea.
Through every adversity,
The state is now a disaster zone.
through every rebuild,
Packing up, just getting life back on track.
through every recovery. We've been there
On Queensland sunshine.
How you going? That's looking good, isn't it? Oh, it's beautiful.
with you through every storm. That's the Suncorp spirit.
In the countdown to Christmas, Better Homes gave to me heaps of yummy food, festive decorations, crazy Christmas trees, and loads more ideas and recipes. We've got every minute of Christmas covered.
Merry Christmas!
Better Homes Countdown to Christmas starts tonight on 7.
Good afternoon. You're watching 7 News. It certainly has been a busy afternoon on the weather front, so let's jump into it. On the satellite picture, there's a large band of cloud through the interior. Now, what's interesting about that is the trough that's causing the cloud. It's what helped build this afternoon's storms. The trough tracks north tomorrow, bringing the threat of storms up with it to the Capricornia and North Coast areas. Checking the capitals now. Sydney, mostly sunny tomorrow. Melbourne, cool and cloudy. A possible storm in Perth and Darwin. And how's this for one extreme to the other? While we're in a heat wave, some parts of Tasmania are expecting snow tonight. 7 to 19 degrees in Hobart tomorrow. It'll be far warmer than that in Queensland tomorrow. In the north, showers are forecast in most centres along the coast, with the chance of a storm south of about Townsville. Showers and a storm are on the cards too down the rest of the coast, stopping short of the Sunshine Coast though. Inland, there'll be a slight drop in temperatures as the cooler change moves through. Expect another hot day in the southeast tomorrow. The cool change will reach us just too late to make a difference until Wednesday. Just going back to the radar now, storms are impacting the Sunshine Coast at the moment, and there's a line of storms building inland of the southeast, which could still reach us. And Kendall, the Bureau says the storm activity could extend way into the night. The skies are keeping you busy this afternoon, Laura. We'll see you back here at 6. And Katrina joins me now to take a look at 7 News at 6. There's been a spike in thefts from construction sites.
Yeah, that's right, Kendall. And we have exclusive video. Take a look at this woman as she tries to steal reinforcement mesh, obviously too heavy for her. And plenty more sites have been raided by more capable thieves. That exclusive report at 6.
Also, Katrina, we know they're out there, but you've probably never seen so many sharks in one place.
These pictures are something else, all right. Big numbers trailing a trawler, obviously attracted by the lure of an easy meal. But see how many there are. and it is not too far off the Gold Coast.
And also tonight, you'll have the official list of the best toys this Christmas.
It doesn't get any more official than this. The top toys being chosen by the kids. In this case, 500 of those lucky kids who were able to sample what's on offer this year. And we can tell you which they have put at the very top of Santa's list. I'm taking notes because, as we just discussed, I haven't done any Christmas shopping. Now, those stories and all today's developing news, plus the latest on those wild storms, coming up in 7 News at 6.
See you back here soon. Thanks, Katrina. One of Germany's quirkiest Christmas traditions, the Santa Claus Run, has been kept alive despite the coronavirus pandemic. Normally, more than 1,000 people take part in the annual charity run in a small town in Germany's east. But this year, only a few dozen took part. The sprinting Santas still managed to look cheerful as they braved the cold while running through the streets. To social media now, Matthew Perry has taken to Instagram to announce a Friends apparel line. The limited release T-shirts will be available for 2 weeks. All proceeds go to the World Health Organisation's COVID-19 relief efforts. There's a new glimpse into Nicole Kidman's performance in the upcoming Netflix musical The Prom, giving us a flashback to her Moulin Rouge days. The film also stars Meryl Streep and James Corden. It's released on Friday. And what do you do when you have a bomb of a car and you want to increase its value and get a lot of YouTube clicks at the same time? You go to the bank and withdraw $2,000 in 5-cent coins and glue them to the car.
Michael's just gone and bought the liquid nails. We're ready.
Cue the montage!
After 3 long days, this is the last one. Dude, I wanted to do it.
The Astra has been spotted across town. The Brisbane duo are clearly attention seekers. They also appeared in court today for running onto the ground at the AFL Grand Final. They were fined $750. No word yet if they'll be paying in 5-cent pieces. And that's Queensland's 4 p.m. news for this Monday. Thanks for your company. Stay on 7 now for The Chase, then 7 News at 6. I'm Kendall Gilding. I'll see you tomorrow.
The Big Bash Fast Start. 7 nights in a row at 7 on 7 May.
That is unbelievable.
It's the biggest start ever. Bang! With every team in action.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
They're coming from around the world.
Rush it, card if you don't mind.
To face our homegrown heroes.
Maxi hits that. That's gone all the way. It's on fire now, Chris Lynn.
Bring on the stars.
Big early statement, Marcus Stoinis. Aaron Finch, stand and deliver. Kawaja, that's really good batting.
Every night, every team.
Can you believe it?
The Big Bash Fast Start is about to bowl you over. Get together and get starstruck.
And the title goes to the Sydney Sixers.
The Big Bash starts Thursday on 7 May.
These 4 strangers must work as a team.